thank you to everyone for being here today. I want to begin by just introducing myself, actually. So I'm a retired rabbi. When I was a younger person, I decided to live in Israel. I lived there for 4 years. In the early years of my career as a rabbi, as a congregational synagogue rabbi, I used to raise funds for the Jewish National Fund. I encouraged my congregants to donate to it. I was a donor. I supported it financially. I'm saying all this to be very clear with anyone who's paying attention that it is not anti-Semitic for the Canada Revenue Agency to enforce Canadian law and tax regulation. And it's not anti-Semitic for anyone to oppose tax-subsidized donations going to support illegal activity in Israel and in Palestine. But just to say a little bit more about that, it's the job of the Canada Revenue Agency to enforce Canadian law and our Canadian tax regulation. The Jewish National Fund, for more than 50 years, has abused its charitable status. It has directly funded building and development and programs in Israeli military bases. It indirectly turns money over to organizations that directly take land away from Palestinians and give it to violent Jewish settlers. It's ethnic cleansing just directly in Jerusalem and in the West Bank, which is not Israel. The JNF funds this kinds of activity through shell organizations that have different names, but it's still charitable monies from Canada going to that end use. A prime example of this from the past is the development of so-called Canada Park, which was built on top of the ruins of 3 villages that were destroyed by the JNF. A survivor of that, Ismail Zaid, is a retired physician living here in Canada in Halifax. He can talk about his own direct personal experience with his own village, his own home being destroyed by the JNF. And further, the JNF, while it has charitable status here in Canada and in other countries, I wouldn't even consider it a charity. It directly owns tens of billions of dollars worth of property in Israel. It owns it, and it controls directly about 15% of the real estate in Israel, and indirectly, it controls about 95% of all the land in Israel through its seats on the board of the Israel Land Authority. So, although the Jewish National Fund was founded over 100 years ago, it should not continue to be supported by Canadian taxpayers through subsidizing charitable donations to the activities that it's involved with. It's been able to develop considerable political influence by developing relationships with people who control our politics. There's a bird sanctuary named after Stephen Harper. I remember when the Jewish National Fund created a playground and named it after John Baird. And this is how they do things. For anyone who'd like to learn more than we can possibly say here today, I want to encourage you to look at 2 different websites. One is called stopthejnf.org, and another is stopthejnf.ca. And just thank you very much, and I pass the mic to some of the others here.